One of my favorite movies is a movie that starred Yul Brynner and Charlton Heston. You may remember it. It's called The Ten Commandments. And it actually talks about this great story about Moses, who was played by Charlton Heston, and how Moses led the nation of Israel out of bondage from the Egyptian people. And it's really an incredible story. And of course, the favorite scene is when they get to the Red Sea. And now they've got this Red Sea in front of them. They've got the Egyptian army behind them. They don't have any weapons. They don't have any soldiers. They don't know how to fight anybody. And it looks like they're doomed. And it was in that moment that Moses taught us three fantastic lessons that we need to learn when we feel like we've got no place to turn. We feel like we've got nowhere to go. We feel like we're out of options. Let me tell you three things to remember. Number one, if you're in that situation in your life right now, here's the good news. God has you right where He wants you. You are right where God wants you. As a matter of fact, He even told Moses, I want you to go. This is the direction I want you to go. This is the path I want you to take. God knew He was going to the Red Sea. God knew exactly what was going to happen. God knew He was going to feel like He was boxed in. The people of Israel were upset with Moses. They said, this is another fine mess you've gotten us into. They thought they were all going to die right there in the desert. They were right where God wanted them to be. So number one, remember, you're right where God wants you. Number two, always go where God leads you. Moses, it was not his idea to go to the Red Sea. I'm sure he would have taken another path. He would have taken another direction to try to get the people out where they needed to go. But God said, no, Moses, you go here. You go there. You're going to go in that direction right there. So there may be times you may think, I'm in some kind of a mess and I will never get myself out of it. That's okay. You just keep going where God leads you. But I want you to think about this. We love that part of the story, where the Red Sea parts and Moses takes the people of Israel through and, everything's copacetic and the Egyptian army, they're destroyed. And now everything's good and now they can go to, Baskin and Robbins and eat their ice cream and have a Coke and everything's right? Well, no, for Moses, the fun had just started. Now he's got millions of Israelites and he's got to take them 750 miles to a place called Canaan. And there are no restaurants. There are no banks. He's got no money. He's got no food. He's not even sure how to get there. What did he do? He did what God told him to do, and that's what you need to do. Whenever you're in the toughest situation of your life, always do what God tells you to do, because you can believe what God will say He will do. So remember this. You're in a tough time in your life. You're right where God wants you. Go where God leads you. Believe what God tells you, knowing He'll do what He says He'll do. He always has in this great book called the Bible.